Hello guys, welcome back. So far we worked on displaying the mutual connections count as dummy link on the user's detail page and also in its connections page. So here you can see that I am at the connections page of the currently signed in user, and here you can see that we are showing this dummy link as 10 mutual connections, 3 mutual connections and so on. Okay, and now if you go to this user's detail page, you will also see that there is a mutual connection link, but this is the dummy for now. Okay, now in this lecture we will change this dummy mutual connection count link into a dynamic link, and when user click on this link they will see all the mutually connected users. Okay, but I would like to tell you one thing, that we will not create any additional controller action and template to achieve this. We will just use the existing member controllers connection action, and we will just add a query parameter in the url. Okay, so let's start with this. First, go to the connections.html.trb in app views member. So first switch to the project directory, and now from the members view directory, what you need to do, open this connection.html.trb, and here you can see that we provided this dummy mutual connection link here. Okay, now what we need to do, we just need to replace this javascript void 0, and here we need to provide a dynamic link. Okay, so what we can provide, member connections path, member connections path. Okay, and then provide the user object here, so user, and then we need to add the query parameter. Okay, and this is how you can add query parameter along with the link in link to tag. Okay, so now the query parameter name will be mutual connections, mutual connections, and here we can provide value as true. Okay, and why we provided this member connections path, because we're gonna reuse this method, that is here you can see in the member controllers, that is connections. Okay, so we will send this url to this action, so that's why we use member connections path here. Okay, now since we have the similar link into the show template, show page as well of the user, so now we need to open this member personal detail partial. Okay, and here you can see that we also have this link to show the mutual connection count, so we need to replace the javascript void 0 here as well with the actual link. Okay, so you can copy the link from this connection.html.trb. Okay, so just copy this member connections path along with the query parameter. Okay, just copy this and paste it here. Okay, and that's it. Now what we need to do, we need to make changes into the connection action of the members controller. Okay, here we need to change the way to find the connected users. Okay, so what we can do, first make the word wrap here, word wrap, and then now come to the connection action. Okay, here you can see in the connection action, after finding this user, I mean at the rate user equal to user dot find params id, what we need to do, just do this connected users. Okay, and then we need to do if params mutual connections present. Okay, because now after having this query parameter, our way to find connected users will be different. Okay, so if params mutual connections is present, then first we need to find all the mutually connected ids. Okay, so how we can do that, so you can define after this if, what we can do here, mutually connected ids, mutually connected ids, and here we just need to perform the same intersection operation that we performed here. Okay, so you can just copy this intersection operation and we can just paste it here. Okay, and this will give all the mutually connected users ids. Okay, and then you need to find user dot where id is, id is mutually connected ids. Okay, so just copy it and paste it here, save it. Now if this params is not present, I mean this query parameter mutual connections is not present, then in the else part, what we need to do, we just need to use the same query, okay, that we were using before this condition. Okay, so here user dot where id is connected user id. Okay, so at the rate user dot connected user ids. Okay, now save it and go to the browser to test whether this link is working, this thing is working or not. Okay, so switch to the browser and refresh your page now. So if you refresh this page now, and here when you click on this 10 mutual connections, you will see that this is showing the mutually connected users between both current user and this visited user. Okay, so here you can see that in the URL we are sending this query parameter, that is mutual connections equal to true. Okay, now if you click on this link, then you will see that we are seeing mutual connections true, and for this user ID is 300, and now we are only seeing 3 users. Okay, and now if you click here for 10 mutual connections, you will see that it is showing the 10 mutual connection records here. Okay, so our mutual connections are visible for every user now, but here we can do something more better to find these mutually connected IDs. Okay, here you can see that this intersection operation is common between two controller actions. Okay, that first is this connection actions and other one is this show action. Okay, so rather than having this duplicate intersection operation, what we can do, we can either move this intersection into a private into a controller method that is private, or we can do it in some instance method on the user, because here you can see that what we are doing, we are calling both the intersections on the current user. Okay, so what we can do, simply go to the let's say user model. Here we will add an instance method. Okay, so what instance method we can do, let's say def mutually connected IDs, mutually connected IDs. Okay, and then pass the user object here. Okay, and then what we can do, we just need to copy this intersection operation code. So just copy this, and here in the user model paste this within this method. Okay, and now just replace this current user with self. Why? Because we cannot access current user inside the user model. Why? Because this is just a user object that you can get using the device helpers, but helpers only worked at the controller and view level, not at the model level. Okay, so in the model we need to call it self, and self is always represent the current user. Okay, that means which is the receiver of the method for that. Okay, so now what we can do, self dot connected user IDs and then intersection at the rate user. So remove this at the rate sign from here, because we are passing this argument here, this argument as a user only. Okay, now what we need to do, just copy this method. Okay, method name, and here we just need to call it our current user. Okay, so what you can do here, and pass the at the rate user object. So just copy this again and now paste it into the connections method as well. So here, so now you can see that we are just using only we are just writing this intersection operation at one place, and now we can use it everywhere where we are using it. Okay, now if you go to the browser and test whether this refactoring is working or not, so you will still see that everything is working fine. Like this is the connection space. Okay, I mean the mutual connection space, and for example if you go to the my profile and click on the let's say this connections link, you will see that still everything is working fine. Okay, and that's what we want. And that's all from this lecture. Now in the next lecture, what we will do, here you can see that for this user we are seeing that 13 connections as a result. Okay, so if the connection number of connection grows for this user, then the page size also will grows. I mean you have to scroll throughout the page. Okay, so what we will do here, instead of provide long scrolling to the user, what we can do, we can limit the display of connections using pagination. Okay, and in the first lecture if you remember, we implemented few gems like Kaminari. Okay, so we will use that Kaminari gem to provide pagination on the connections pages and mutual connection pages. Okay, so meanwhile try this lecture at your end, and we will meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.